No.
Okay. We're live. We're live. We're back. We're back.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Yeah, apparently I dance now. That's a thing. Okay, if you're
scary.
watching this later, just know that you can fast forward probably by about 10 minutes before we get to the content. So we have a 9-minute butt rub
Woohoo!
portion.
I'm good with that.
So here we are. There's so much to say, but I'm going to save it for the bonus section.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't want to say it now.
Yeah, I hear you.
I do. Hello. I do think that we got our lighting a little bit better this time.
Yes.
I mean, we still have, look at that. This is the camera because our lighting is great. We still have an Instagram filter over our faces. It's got to be. Hello. Hi, Connie. Sorry, y'all. We have so much to tell you and it has nothing to do with the topic and I'm waiting till the bonus section. And so I'm very frazzled and I'm not really here. Also, I feel, hi, Yarn and Whiskey. I also feel like way out of practice. I don't know how to do this
Last week was a lost week.
Oh God, when we get to the bonus section, if you're not already a Proud Cricket on Patreon with us and you're like, where the fuck did y'all go? We even tried to tell that story last week and the technology didn't want to cooperate. Yep. So, so much to say.
I know. I think it's much better, the color-wise.
Oh, yeah. And I think our lighting is better. We played with our lighting, y'all.
We tried some technical tricks.
But when I look at it on my MacBook, it looks like a bad Instagram filter. We're totally washed out.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine. Hi, Tammy.
Hello, Tammy.
First
Welcome.
time. Yay. Did I say hi, Ashley? If I didn't say hi, Ashley. Hi, Ashley.
I'm just going to say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I know, but it's just like the thing. We got a couple minutes. Is there anything we're not going to talk about in the bonus section at the end that we can talk about now that the YouTube folk would appreciate or care about? Because we got stuff to tell you, but it needs to be bonus section stuff. Oh, shirts, because somebody will ask. These shirts are not available for sale. They were made and gifted by Christy, who is amazing. And the back of mine says baby girl. And I think the back of yours says daddy. And we like to wear these when we go to do things. Like when we went to the Woodshed in Orlando and we were a vendor for their thing, this was the shirt we wore. We're supposed to be going to conference. Well, you are definitely going to a conference this weekend. I have to confirm that I get to go. Childcare is the issue. And we will probably pack these shirts because we are nerds like that. So there is no link for this week's shirt. This is, and I had several people say, y'all need to make a shirt with your logo. And we could make a shirt with our logo like this. I just have not had time to do anything with our old Redbubble store.
Right.
I need to, but
somebody said that, if the warm up is the butt rub, then is the bonus section the aftercare, and they said cricket care, and I like that. Cricket, the bonus section is the cricket care. Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah.
After the past couple weeks I've had, I'm telling y'all right now, I've never been so grateful to be around the crickets. I'm not going to go into the details of why, but I am so happy to be in this space with y'all. People I enjoy and people who enjoy us, and just, I'm so grateful for y'all. Let's see. Who else is here?
Whitney's here. Master Bobby joined us.
Oh, hello. Dr. Andy Wilder. Tayshu, hello. Okay, how much more time we have? Words are hard, y'all.
Yeah, it's been
5 more minutes, y'all. 5 more minutes.
It's been a hectic morning. I mean,
it's been a hectic week.
Well,
it's Wednesday.
It's been a hectic week.
And we can't talk about it yet.
No, we can't.
Bonus section.
But we kind of hit the ground running this morning in a lot of different directions.
My peaceful mornings of going to the gym and working out and listening to my podcast and easing into my day, that has not happened in 2.5 weeks. There's just not happened.
And on that note, before we really get into things, do you think you can handle the butt rub for a few minutes by yourself?
You know I can. Did I not see Silent Wing come in? Hello, Silent Wing. Sorry, y'all. There's Muffin. Hello. Cricket care, I think that's a good term.
Yeah, cricket care. I like that.
Yes,
yeah.
And I've been thinking about what our bonus section emoji of the week is going to be, and I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. Hopefully it'll come to me in the course of
Okay. I'm going to step away briefly.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yay. Oh, and I will repeat this once we bring the audio folk in, but I do want to say this. Y'all know we've talked about this past several weeks. You can sometimes hear our dog coughing in the background. He's an old man, and it's just a tracheal cough, and part of his heart murmur, and the cough is a lot worse, and so you may very well hear it. I don't know. He's sleeping now. I hope he takes a nap. That would be great. But if you hear it, like, it's just the nature of it. Coffee of the week. We went to Starbucks because we had to go run and do some other things before we did this. Talk about that, why we were doing that in the bonus section. We went to Starbucks. Yeah, so we're drinking Starbucks this week. I had kind of hoped we could go to our special little coffee shop. That's a major treat. That's like a lot of money for coffee. But I kind of was feeling it. Oh, and my other new favorite thing that I'm loving, and I don't know why I don't like the Starbucks version. I love the Dunkin' Donuts new matcha lattes, iced, of course, with almond milk, because I can't drink regular milk. It's been delicious. I think the reason I like it more is it dissolves better in the milk, whereas when you get the one from Starbucks, it's the green drink. If you're not familiar with it, it doesn't dissolve very well. So yeah. But no, I'm drinking coffee today. But I was real tempted to get a iced matcha latte from Dunkin' Donuts because those are yummy. They're very sweet though. That's probably why I find it so yummy. Just saying. How much time do we have? We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Just in time.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Right under the wire.
I'm a very dancey, singy kind of person. Nobody wants me to dance or sing. No. But I am doing it anyway.
The dancing, well, that's okay. But the singing, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah. No. Y'all, he safe worded on one of his hard limits is a song, a little riff I used to sing. Yeah. Because I'm so tone deaf. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. I wouldn't want to listen to it either.
Folks, it was terrible.
Thank you for loving me and being supportive.
I do love you. You know I love you.
Silent Wing says puts too much sweetener in your coffee. I feel I have gotten. I did a 6 or 8 week thing where I didn't do sweetener at all. Not even stevia. Not even monk fruit. Like none of those. And that backed. It was hard. It was hard. I thought I was going to try and do I'll be sweetener free forever. No, life was miserable. But what I have done since then, that's probably been 6 or 7 months, I think. It helped me back off the amount of sweetener, but mostly I just want coffee flavored heavy cream. Like I want a little bit of coffee and a lot of everything.
I have never seen anybody as bad with sweetener in coffee as my sister.
Which sister?
The youngest.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. I've never paid attention to her coffee.
She was at the house one day, made her a cup of coffee, and this was like a standard mug. 8-ounce mug. Okay. She put 8 spoons of sugar in there.
You were either drinking really bad coffee or what you want is the caffeine. You don't want the coffee at that point. What you want is the caffeine. Wow. But I've been at Starbucks and my aunt used to be like, okay, I'm going to need 6 packets of Splenda, 3 pumps of sugar-free this, 2. I was like, ooh, okay, that's very sweet. Not judging, y'all. Swear to God, I'm not judging. But I had to go cold turkey on my sweetener to be able to. Okay, it is noon. It is noon.
High noon.
Okay. If you saw the title, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about starting out as friends first in a DS relationship. I'll do all the disclaimers about how we don't think that's how everybody should do it when we bring the audio folk in. But that's our topic. It was absolutely inspired by not us, but we lived it, so we're gonna talk about it. I don't even have good notes for this. It's just gonna be a conversation. Real quick, YouTube only stuff. If you enjoy what you're seeing, we love a good as much as the next person. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. We have little goals for subscriptions, which we're not close to the next goal, but we have extra live streams and fun stuff like that. And if you really go ahead. I know.
Thank you, girl.
Sorry.
Yeah. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notifications when we upload new content.
Or whatever.
Girl.
Just do what Daddy says. I found that to make life a lot easier. Unless I'm arguing with him and then...
Good girl.
Thank you. And then, of course, say this every time. If you really enjoy what we do, you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/KaylaLords. The link is in the description below. One of the things we do is a patron-only live Q&A every month, and we tried to do it last week, and we did do it last week, but it was pitiful because our internet connection was just shit.
OMG.
So we're actually redoing it for this coming Saturday, March 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And so if you are a patron at that point, even if you just signed up like today or whatever, you would be able to see that too. And we answer questions, and it's an hour of a lot of this, but answering questions. Patreon.com/KaylaLords. Okay, commercial is over. Okay. So yeah, we can bring everybody in. Yeah, go ahead and get the hiccups and burps
Excuse
out.
me.
Sorry, y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so our topic this week, it's weird. I think we've talked about this in different ways over the years. It's like a lot of topics we've been doing lately. We've mentioned it, but we just haven't dedicated an episode to it. And quite frankly, it was inspired by a conversation we were having with one of our patrons, and we do a Skype session at the top tier, and they were talking to us about what's been going on in their life, and it was a follow-up from the month before, so we'd already had a little context, and they were saying, yeah, I think I'm just enjoying being friends with this person before I figure out if I want to do anything else, before I even play. And I was like, that's a show idea! So a shout out to that proud cricket. She knows who she is. Okay. So, disclaimers for all of this. We do not believe that every DS relationship should start as friends first.
True.
We do not believe that relationships that do not start that way will somehow be unhappy. We do not think that there's only one way to do any of it. It was just, we can relate to it because it's what we did, and so we can certainly see the benefit of it.
It's kind of who we are all the way around, per se.
Right. I mean, I'm a big believer in, to me, it doesn't really matter the nature of a long-term power exchange, whether it's romantic, sexual, or platonic. I feel like there has to be some level of friendship underneath, a mutual care and respect for the other person, and that, to a certain extent, is friendship. Now, what friendship means to people, varies from person to person and relationship to relationship. But I do think at the core, if you can be friends, whether you do it first or you develop that later, if you can be friends, then it's a lot easier to overcome the big stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to interrupt myself for a second and say, no, there are no announcements this week. I didn't have it in me, so we're just getting right into it. For once, I'm going to be concise. No, I'm not going to be concise. I'm not going to delay is what I mean. So we'll just start out by saying, and we've talked about this before. Anybody who knows our origin story kind of knows this. We were friends before we were Power Exchange.
Yes.
We were blog comment buddies. I would post a blog post, KaylaLords.com. You would comment on it.
Yes.
You would usually make me laugh or smile. You would post something silly on your blog. I would comment on it. And we went back and forth. I don't know how long we did that for before I reached out. Which is not normal.
It was a good 3 weeks.
Was it?
Yeah.
I felt like when my memory is so bad, sometimes it feels like it was like half a second, and sometimes it feels like it was forever, but it was only about 3 weeks.
It was about 3 weeks. And you reached out with an email that said you really enjoyed the comments. And
yes, I was going through heartbreak. I'd been dumped by my first and now former dom. It was just, emotionally bleeding all over the place.
Yeah. And you were, you saying how you liked the comments, and some of my blog posts really made you laugh. And
I don't know what possessed me to do that.
You didn't expect a reply, and you didn't think you'd ever hear from me. A little passive aggressive thing going on.
No, it was absolutely expectation management. I'm letting you know there is no pressure here. You can think I'm this weird lady who randomly emailed you and ignore it, and it's okay. What I find telling is that all these years later, because that was December 23rd, 2012. Yes. I don't know how I remember that, but I do. And you are quoting this at me. I find that very telling, is all I'm saying.
Really?
I find that very telling.
In what way?
Clearly, Does it mean did you immediately commit it to memory when you got it, or have you read it multiple times? Either way, it says a lot. There's so much there.
I have not read it a lot. It was pretty much committed to memory from day one.
Were you shocked?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not the type to start friendships. It's just trust issues, walls. I feel very awkward. I'm an introvert, but I'm also anxious and socially anxious. So I am not the type to reach my hand out and go, hey, well, I mean, with COVID-19, we shouldn't be doing that, but still, hey, I want to get to know you. And I was terrified. I mean, that's why I had all those caveats of how you could just ignore this. And I just wanted to let you know. I didn't mean that to be passive aggressive. I was like,
okay, all right.
Please, I don't want to be too
So
forward.
you must have been really terrified when I replied.
Oh my God, y'all. He replied, I feel like we're telling our origin story, and it's actually the origin story of our friendship. Because it started out very innocent. Because I was going through heartbreak. I was still shattered. I was not interested in a relationship. I was fucking around with a few guys that kind of, I could tell from a distance, they were not keepers. They weren't allowed to meet my children, but the dick would be good. I was here for the dick. So you were not in that category to me at that time. Like but I remember I was sitting on my living room floor of the townhouse I had gotten after my divorce. I'm dealing with the first Christmas in, years as a single person. I think I was trying to put together a tricycle for the little one. And I'm looking at my email going, and I can't tell anybody because this is all under my super secret sex blog. So I can't tell my mom. I can't tell like my close vanilla friends. And my heart was like up here. Now, retrospect being what it was, I think it would be easy to clock it as, y'all were totally into each other. But in my mind, those first few months, we were friends. We were friends. And
we were getting to know each other.
And we did. And the thing is that we've talked about that before. We played 20 questions. We asked this. We asked that. And it was after, and I think we talked about this just a couple weeks ago, when we were seriously talking about, what it would mean if I met somebody else, since I knew I was submissive and I knew I wanted my partner to be a dominant, and you were like, well, they won't let you be friends with me. And I was ready to fight somebody. Like, but we have in many, 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 many episodes, we've talked about that on some level.
Yeah.
But the core of who we are was friendship.
Yeah. And see, to me, that, especially as a dominant, to me, that is something that's very important regardless of who it is. Even if it's just somebody that I'm doing a scene with at the time, I really like to be friends with them. Because to me, scene-wise, it gives me a little bit of a connection. Because when I'm doing a scene with somebody, it's about getting inside them. Mm-hmm. And knowing them is more than just, well, okay, yeah, I like barehanded spankings. Yeah, I like paddles. I like crops. I like this. You want to be able to get inside them. Okay? And as far as relationships go, like with us, yes, we are 24/7 in our DS. Okay? As to what 24/7 means to us. But after the scenes, after the kinky fuckery, we're friends. Mm-hmm. There's more to it than just the kinkery and the power exchange.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about it because for me, while it is difficult for me to make friends because I don't actually want to talk to anybody, thanks. I need any partner, any relationship I am in, I need you to be my friend first, because friendship is where I start to develop trust. Mm-hmm. Friendship is where I figure out, can you deal with my weirdness? I have quirks. I have moments. I say shit. Like, are you gonna laugh that off or join me, or are you gonna give me that blank stare and I'm gonna hear, pardon the podcast pun, crickets in the background, and you're looking all confused? And for me, I can't really be a romantic or sexual, yeah, sort of, but romantic. I can't develop a romantic relationship with somebody that I don't just genuinely like as a human being. And if you are my friend at whatever level, and there's levels of friendship, I like you as a human being first. So that, the few people that I got to know or got close to based on like an immediate sexual attraction, that never lasted if the first thing I noticed about them was a sexual attraction. I'm not saying that's not how it is for everybody. That's me, because it's just kind of not how I'm wired. I need a connection. Like the sex can be good, but if there's no anything beyond that, like I don't want to have a conversation with you. You can go now. I'm done. And I don't enjoy that kind of thing. I actually missed out on probably the only one night stand I would ever actually have, because that's what I was feeling. Dude was hot as fuck. He was all up in me. I was ready to go. And then my brain went, you don't even like this dude.
Yeah.
Like, you won't want anybody to know, and he is going to make sure everybody knows. And I stopped it right there. He was a decent human being. He left it. He did text me to tell me that I would regret that. I would miss out. But that's how I'm wired, because it's a level of trust. Now, when I'm your friend, I am a ride or die bitch. I have been walked the fuck over by people claiming to be my friends because it's a trust thing. It's once I trust you, we're at that level of friendship, then I'm loyal to a fucking fault. Like, to my own detriment. I have worked on those things over the years. It's a little bit why I'm pull back a lot with friendship, because I know it takes a little bit longer for me to feel like I'm in a deep friendship with somebody. But yeah, if I'm going to spend time with you, if I'm going to let you see me naked, if I'm going to go, yes, daddy, what do you want? I gotta like you as a human being. And for me, that is about friendship. The other part of it for me is I love to laugh. I have one of those, y'all know, really obnoxious, loud, people turn from across the room to stare at me laughs. I am 40, y'all. It took me easily 36, 37 years to stop giving a fuck that my laugh does that, okay? Because I tamped myself down for many, many years because I felt people are paying attention to me and they're giving me weird looks. But I love to laugh, and if I'm with another human being that can crack me up, heaven. I'm in heaven. Now, it's got to be a lot of other things. It can't be just that one thing. So not only were you honest with me, not only were you just a kind human being, John Brownstone is literally the nicest human being I have ever met in my life. Ever. And I've met a few nice people. Nicest. That's not love talking. That is like, I genuinely feel like I'm an awful human being sometimes because I'm not that nice. So there were all those things that can set the groundwork for friendship. But it was when we would crack each other up. And even now, the reason, not that we haven't had moments where one or both of us have been like, oh my God, that scene was shit, or oh my God, this thing is really tough in our lives right now. But the thing I think that helps us is that we will find a point of mutual humor, either in situations, or we'll kind of go outside the situation and bring each other back because we'll laugh and we'll tease and we want to laugh together. And that for me is part of friendship too, because the people I'm closest with, I laugh so hard that tears are streaming, or I'm making them laugh. Like, that's a shared connection that I really enjoy. And I think that underlying friendship lets us get through some seriously tough times.
Sure.
So, if we didn't have it first, it would have been, we wouldn't have been in a relationship because of how I'm wired. Okay. Like, I find it, not that it happens frequently, probably less than 5 times in my whole life, but I find it very strange when somebody like comes up to me and wants to like be kind of forward with me in a, hey, I'm into you kind of way. Like, I'm like, oh, stranger danger. But if you want to crack a joke from a few feet away, because personal space and got 3 feet bubble here, you want to crack a joke and I laugh, or I crack a joke and you get the humor, or I say something sarcastic and you get the humor. We talked about this. This is like my tells, right? Well, now I'm interested in a conversation, but if you come out the gate expressing interest, sexual, romantic, what? What are we, what? I don't know. No. Who are you? Stranger danger. I know not everybody's like that. But I know I'm like that. The problem is sometimes I become really good friends with somebody and any sexual attraction I might have felt is gone because now I'm friends and all I can see is the friendship. That sucks because I'm like, they were really hot. Oh, now we're really, really close friends and I don't see them that way anymore. Fuck. That really sucks. So I'm very grateful that I did not have that happen with you. Like the stronger the friendship became, the stronger the trust, the more I was willing to go, hey, wait. That dude's kind of cool. Oh, and he wants to fuck me and spank me?
Bonus stars.
Sign me up. How quickly can you get here? But it did take months. And part of that was denial. But it did take literal months for that. So, yeah. Now, in talking to the person who inspired this topic in that conversation, something that they said made sense to me. And it was that by focusing on making friends in their community before they were worried about looking for any sort of power exchange or whatever, it took a lot of pressure off of them.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you go out into the kink community, go to your local munch, maybe you log on to FetLife or you're in Twitter or wherever you're meeting kinky people, and you're doing it with the, I need to go find a dominant, I need to go find a submissive, I need a play partner. For some people, that works really well. Like that, they do really well with that. But for some of us, I think that it comes with certain pressures. Like if you don't find somebody, does that mean you'll never find somebody? Or, oh, this is the first person in 2 weeks to express any interest. I better go with that one because they're expressing interest. And I could not do that personally just because I'm not wired that way. But also, who needs that kind of pressure in your life? I don't want just anybody to dominate me. Not interested. That's not fulfilling to me. Somebody I trust, somebody I care about, somebody who I at least believe cares for me, has my best interests at heart. Methods may vary, you know, views and values around that may vary, but I at least believe that they, give two shits about me. And I think that when we rush into these things because we're somehow telling ourselves, I have to have a dominant, I have to have a submissive, I have to have some kind of partner because I got these kinky urges. I think that it's much easier at that point to overlook red flags and bad behavior and just the crap that otherwise you wouldn't put up with that from a new friend that you're trying to make. They're trying to be friendly with you. You wouldn't put up with some of that. But some people will put up with not talking to them, not replying in a timely manner, lying because they're so desperate for the relationship, for the power exchange.
Well, what kind of did it for me with you, and I hope I have the term right, there are a lot of people who, and I haven't heard it used in a while, but for a long time I considered myself demisexual. Okay? There has to be some kind of mental connection. And I know it's not a word, but I'm going to make it a word right here now. Demikinkual.
No, you just... My writer brain is like, what have you done to the English language? What is happening
You're reeling right now, okay?
Oh my God, that hurt my ears. Okay.
But what got me is that you expressed a genuine interest in me.
As a human being.
You wanted to know about me. You wanted to know how I like my coffee, what my favorite drinks are, what my foods are, what shows I like.
Your favorite type of cake was. I was very happy when you said chocolate.
So, you expressed a genuine interest in finding out who I am, not only as a dominant, but as a person. And that was like,
And if you're not used to having that, and I wasn't quite used to having that anymore either, it's very nice. It's very like, oh, you care about the thoughts rattling around in my head, and you're willing to sit here while I like let them out into the world in drips and drabs. Nobody can handle that much all at once. I'm looking at the live stream chat, and hi, Ignixia, by the way. Should be seeing you next weekend. Ignixia has a good point, and it is something that I relate to, even though I'm like, I gotta be your friend first. I absolutely relate to this. She said, says, I kind of prefer going into an attempt at relationships with that being the intent. Being on the ace spectrum and having anxiety tends to lead to me being super oblivious to people flirting. You gotta tell me, or I'm just gonna assume you're just being nice. Friendship builds either way after that, but I don't tend to look at my friends with potential to anything else. And I actually, in some ways, can definitely relate. So first of all, if you're flirting with me, baby, you better tell me, because I will not know. Also, I might immediately be awkward because I don't know how to handle it. People may have been flirting with me for the past 20 years. I wouldn't know. And if I find out now, I won't know what to do with that information. And I do think that that's a good way to look at it. You can go in with the intent of this might be something. I mean, that's the reason dating sites exist. Hell, that's half of what FetLife is. But I think Nixie gets it right. And obviously it's Nixia's perspective, so she is right automatically. But what I mean is, in a broader sense, it is, I agree that you can have the intent and then start at the friendship level. The people I worry about most who are like, I just need a partner. I just need a partner. I need a power exchange. And they'll take anybody with a pulse at that point. And that's when there are issues. And I want, from my personal perspective, I want somebody to be my friend, to be somebody I could see as that I have some level of friendship with, some level of camaraderie with, before I get to anything else. Because, but I also purposely don't. I've tried to use some of the little, not the dating apps like the main ones, but I've got an account on Swing Towns, and I've tried to do, I think it's called Please Me, and there's another one they really want me to sign up for, and I'm trying, but it's just, I'm not wired that way. I think because you and I got lucky, it was very organic.
It was.
And so I feel very awkward when it's, okay, I'm using this app as a tool, which is what it is, and no shade to anybody who does. I totally understand why people do it. But for me, I'm like, okay, I'm going into this app for the express purpose of finding a person, and I'm just going to like pick them out of the pile. And I just, or I'm waiting to be picked, because I ain't picking nobody, because I got stranger danger. I'm waiting to be picked out of the pile of other humanity. It doesn't work for me. And I don't think that's a problem that it works for other people. I just know me, and I love the organic growth of it, feeling like it developed in some way that I couldn't see it coming. Which is weird as an anxious person who likes to see everything coming. I know that probably sounds like it does. There's a mismatch there. But the organic growth of friendships and relationships, for me, and this is just my experience because I don't deal with apps in general, that felt stronger. Because for me, there wasn't the expectation of this. Hopefully this will turn into something. It was more like, who is that person over there? They said something funny and I said something. Oh, here's a common point. I have had many people ask, well, what dating apps do you use? Or how do you suggest I meet somebody? I'm like, you do not want my advice, because it's going to be, okay, look, I'm going to need you to start a blog, share your innermost, ugliest, not even ugliest, but most personal thoughts for about 8 months, go through heartbreak, be just shattered, and then find the person who makes you laugh when what you really want to do is cry. That's not a method. You can't follow me. Like, don't follow my method. That was the, if you are the type of person who believes in the fates aligning or kismet or the universe or like whatever, like bigger stuff out in the universe, you can't plan for that shit. And how an anxious person like me is like, but that's my preferred way to meet somebody. I can't answer that. But I think the way you meet is less the issue. Use a dating app. Go to singles nights at your kink community. Like, go to a munch, purposely go, who's out here? I think the way we meet is going to be personal to what works for us, and we all need to do what's right for us. But I think that if you go with the intent that I just want to see if this person's a nice human being before I worry about whether I'm going to submit to or dominate them, you know, I'm going to think that's probably
and some communities. Well. I know Orlando. They have a coffee social.
Yeah, I would go just for the coffee, but I don't want to be social. It is odd to be talking to however many people will watch the YouTube video and download the podcast, but I don't want to be social. I know. And I will be social, and I am social. It happens. Yeah. So I think the method of how you meet people is less important than what you do once you meet them, once you make that connection. I think that knowing yourself is helpful, but I think it is also possible to know yourself too well. What do I mean by that? I do not do well talking to people I don't know, which means that if I was actively wanting a relationship, like technically, remember we said you're poly in practice, I'm poly in theory. So technically, even if I wanted a secondary relationship or just wanted to meet people, if you're not willing to go where people are, online or in person, it's very difficult. And I hinder my own ability to connect, to get to know people, figure out if somebody's like a good friend that I can depend on, or if it's a friendship that could build to something more. Like, I don't even put myself in those positions. And I think that is part of it. You got to actually like take a step forward. Even if you're like me and really want something that's more organic growth, kind of, you know, it just sort of happened and you didn't have to swipe. Which way do you swipe if you say yes? Is it right? Somebody correct. This is how unknowing I am about these things. Which way do you swipe if you like them? Which way do you swipe if you don't? I'm confused. So, you know, yeah, I just think friendship is important. Let's get off of the how people meet, because that's I think one is very personal, two can be very contentious, because people have met people they really cared about and really, there's a word, specific ways. Like they went to a dating app specifically to meet somebody, and I'm not, no shade to anybody who does that. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just, I know myself really well. And that's what I would think. I think I lost my train of thought. If you know yourself really well, sometimes you do have to, you work within it or you step out of it depending on what you need to do. Like I said, if I was trying to meet somebody now, I'd be screwed, because I don't talk to people I don't know unless they talk to me first, and I don't leave the house unless I have to. That's a problem. You could see where that's a problem. So sometimes you do have to stretch yourself a little bit. You do have to like go where the people are. What's that song? I want to be where the people are. Oh, what movie is that from? I can hear it in my, somebody tell me. Yeah. But so once you've like, screw how you met him, okay? Screw how you met him, because I feel like I'm digging a fucking hole here and I'm going to get buried in my own bullshit. Screw how you fucking met somebody. Now you've met them. If friendship is important to you, or if you are less likely to just jump in with the first person that, you know, smiles nice, looks cute, or whatever your criteria are, how do you make friends with people? John Brownstone?
Not easily.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I am always open to friendships. I'll be honest. You know, I do miss, since we have moved from Tarpon, you know, being around people that I've known, especially in the lifestyle, for many, many years. And I have reached out to people here, and I have made some friends, but because of the way our life has been, it has not been easy. Not anything on their part, more so on my part, because things, I can't remember who said it, but the words fit perfectly. Higgly piggly.
That was from something too.
For some reason, I go think it's something from Winnie the Pooh, but
could be.
Yeah.
Oh, I love me some Winnie the Pooh. Anyway, go ahead.
But you know, yeah, it's like I generally I like a routine kind of thing. I am not as routine based as her, but I do like a good routine. And it's like every time lately, you know, especially over the last 5-6 months, it's like every time I think things are smoothing out and, okay, I can count on doing this, and then there'll be that. And no, poof, it just gets blown out of the water. And it's been hard to make plans and make commitments.
Right, which is how you then get to know people or spend time with people or
exactly.
make friends. Right.
Exactly. So, to a certain extent, I am somewhat of a guarded person because of things that have happened in my past.
Sure.
I generally don't let people in, but if they do show what I perceive as a genuine interest, I then become more open to that.
Yeah. I tend to... This is so unscientific. It's going to be something different for everybody. I've said this before, though. I'm looking for the vibe. I'm looking for... Not the vibrator, y'all. Yes, but no. When I am in somebody's space and we are having a conversation and we're at a point where the conversation would be kind of easy. I don't mean that we've known each other for ages, but like you're past the, hi, my name is Kayla. Hi. You've taken a breath, right? If I just feel good in your presence, I'm going to want to be back in that presence.
Yes.
I might feel awkward as fuck because I don't know how to make small talk and I just, but that's what I'm looking for. And you can get a sense of that sometimes online. You can't always trust that sense because people can claim to be anybody they want to be on the internet. But in person, that's what I'm looking for. I want that feeling. And if I don't get that feeling from somebody, I can honestly say, okay, you're probably a very nice human being, but you're not my human being. So I will always be polite. I will, be professional, whatever the situation may call for. But I'm going to gravitate towards the people who give me this energy kind of exchange. Yeah. I know it's my little bit of woo-woo, y'all. I don't have a lot.
Yeah.
I got a little woo-woo, and that is part of it. And that's because if I feel that, there's something, I don't know, and I'm sure it's something about body language and all kinds of other like actual sciencey things. But when I feel that, my guard comes down a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I'm more willing to engage. Yeah.
See, for you, in a way, Kayla and I are a little bit opposites in this. Because with you are very content with your online community and people.
Yes, because I can turn that off when I need to.
Yeah.
I can't go into another room.
Me, I am in that I am opposite because while I do enjoy being online and being with people online, I like the human contact, so to speak.
Yeah.
I like going to munches. I like going to functions and workshops and things like that.
Yeah, and there are certain things I like. It's funny. I don't mind being among the people. I'm not expected to make small talk. Unless I'm geared up for it. So this has nothing to do with anything, but it's an example. This coming weekend is Eroticon in London. We are not going, clearly, as we sit here recording this. And I'm going to miss that. And it is one of those times where I actually thrive and I am a little bit more talkative and I'm exhausted by it. I'm exhausted by it and my social anxiety can spike and things happen. But I do thrive in that situation because I know enough people and I already feel enough connection that the vibe is already good. And it's like, okay, I'm here in my community.
Yeah.
Stepping into new communities where, let's say you are a single kinkster and you're like, I'm going to go to the local munch because maybe I'll meet somebody and maybe they'll be my friend and maybe that'll develop or maybe they'll introduce me to somebody, who knows what'll happen, but I'm going to go in the local community. When you go as a brand new person, if when I go as a brand new person, I can't speak for anybody else. If I don't immediately feel this really positive energy, I would be for shit at trying to meet somebody new because I not only am not feeling comfortable like making a lot of eye contact and certainly not trying to make small talk, but just speaking up at all can be really difficult. And I know there are people who have to combat that out there, and some people are able to just go anyway and they're like, you know what, I'm just going to put myself out there, and I think that's great. Some of us are like, can I go back online? Is there like a little chat? Is somebody on Twitter I can talk to? So it's not like I'm incapable of it, but I know me. When we've gone to munches, like, the munch we go to, which we missed last month because dates are hard. We were in the middle of doing something else, and I went, "Oh my God, I think the munch is happening right now."
You're having lunch with family, yes.
But what makes me comfortable there at this new munch, because we've been going several months now, is that you were there, and that we are friends with the person who organizes it.
Right.
And that's the only reason I'm comfortable. Our old munch you went to for years and years and years and years.
Oh, yeah.
I walked in with
years before I ever met you,
Right.
yeah.
I walked in with a certain level of comfort because you were with me and because you already knew several people. They liked you. They were happy to see me. The vibe was good. But it wasn't until like the last 6 months to a year that we went that I finally fully relaxed because I had that vibe energy thing. So if you are a type of person who knows that it's really hard for you to be in groups of near total strangers, or you're looking for a feeling, I think that's valid. It does mean it's going to be harder to meet somebody if you're trying to meet in person, to get to know somebody, to see if the friendship develops, to see what might happen. This is an unsatisfying view, but I do think if you're capable of it, if other methods have not been working for you, if you're stressed out about trying to meet somebody because sometimes just going to these things with no expectations, like legitimately no expectations, not that thing that I do, which is I don't have any expectations. However, if this happened, I would be really happy, but I'm not going to think about how I would really like it to go this way because where you lie to yourself about how you have no expectations. I think if you are the type of person who can kind of do that and go, you know what, I'm just going to go and see what happens. If nothing happens, then nothing lost. If I meet somebody I want to have coffee with, or it's just a cool person to hang out with, maybe I connect with them on FetLife, great, we'll call that a win. But I'm going for another reason. I'm going to the club for a workshop. I'm going to the munch because I like that restaurant and I want to see who's out there. Or, it's those moments when we apply extra pressure on ourselves that these things that might already be difficult. Making friends, somebody said it in the live chat, making friends over 30, when you're over 30 is very difficult.
Yeah.
I would say even younger than that, but at any point that you're away from maybe school, childhood, college age, like wherever you last had a group of friends and you've moved off in life from that point and you're not really connected to those, younger friends from your younger days anymore, it's hard to make friends. Most of my friends truly have been work friends. Working for myself, thank God you're my friend, Daddy. Because my closest friends in life have been work friends, and that's how I made friends. I could work in small offices and big offices and like nobody but one person, and if I had my one person, I was good. So it is very difficult to make friends, but then if we apply extra pressure to ourselves that this one kink event is where I need to meet somebody and I need to vibe with them and they've got to become my friend because maybe they'll become my partner or maybe they'll introduce me. Like that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And then depending on who you are, I know when I do things like that, I don't come in as my authentic self. I don't come in relaxed. I come in very, very tense, very, okay, I am a little Miss Awkward today, And then I'm forcing conversations that maybe I'm not giving off the vibe I want to give off, or I'm not talking about the things that matter to me. And then it's just like, if we could, if there's a way for anybody who's like, but I do want to be in a relationship, or I'm in between relationships and I hope to have one in the future, that if we could all just relax and let the expectations down a bit, even trying to make friends, I know you love to go to those like in-person things, but if you went into every single one, like, I am here to make a bunch of friends. First of all, that's just creepy. We've met some of those people. I think they're probably very nice people, but it's a vibe. It's like, I'm going to need you to take that enthusiasm to somewhere else because this is too much for me. But also it can lead to inauthentic moments too.
And see, over the years I have seen, because somebody mentioned, I think it was Goddess Callie, about people watching, and I'm a big people watcher myself. Back in the day, I used to love going to Starbucks with a book, get a coffee, and I would just sit there for hours and people watch. Now, not to say there's anything wrong with this. I have known people over the years who have huge, huge groups of friends.
Or do you mean people who are extroverts and that's why they have huge groups of friends? Or just,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're extroverts. They're very,
they thrive on being around people. That's where they draw their energy.
The social butterfly, and they draw their energy from that, and they love being around a lot of people. Me, I have, while I don't mind being around a lot of people to a certain extent. Ever since I was young, I have always felt I would rather have just a few quality friends than a huge social circle.
Yeah, no, same. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm. So, and neither one is right, neither one is wrong. It all depends on the person.
It does, and it depends on where that person is at that moment, at that day. I think that's another reason to sort of just let your expectations relax if you're out there trying to meet somebody, because it's like, wait, you might come across this person the first time you meet, and maybe they're having a rough day. Maybe they're they're just not feeling it. They're there for different reasons. And then you might come across them 6 months later, and it's a completely different energy, and it's like meeting a new person.
Right.
Now, go ahead.
And Pamela makes a good point about, some people are just shy.
Oh yeah.
Which is sometimes it's a matter, you have to reach out to them, and
right. And just for anybody who's maybe doesn't think about these things to the extent that I sometimes do, shy and introvert are not automatically the same thing. No. Shy and anxious aren't always the same thing. They tend to run together, but they're not automatically the same thing. And so I think that if we discussed this in the episode where we were talking about entering a new community, if you are the one in the group, at the munch, at the workshop, in the place, and you are very comfortable there because you know lots of people, and you no longer have that, oh my God, I'm an awkward person kind of feeling. I think it's on you, if you were in that position, and I would do this myself, to reach out to the new person who's shy or who's really quiet, and then respect their distance if what they want to do is just observe. But so we're lowering our expectations. If any of this resonates with you, you're gonna try and go out, and when you get to know somebody, maybe you'll start as friends before you worry too much about all the other stuff. Okay, so now you're in the relationship.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about us, but what do you think, from your perspective in our relationship or past relationships, is the benefit of our friendship being the core of our relationship, and we built from the friendship?
Yeah, I think I think overall it has made us stronger as a couple, as a DS couple. I think it makes us stronger in our power exchange, because we have that underlying foundation, and this is opinion, not a thing, but I believe that makes us stronger.
I would say that. I would say, now I'm going to speak from a very submissive perspective, and I'm only speaking as one submissive, y'all. There are many ways to do this. I find that because we were friends first, I'm not intimidated by you in a way that could be unhealthy. So when you go all domly dom on me and give me the look and the voice and even the sadistic gleeful laugh, when I say intimidated, I mean, oh shit, this is gonna be both really good and also, can I fucking handle this? What the fuck is he about to do? It's a sexy, kinky, consensual level of intimidation. It's the dom sub power exchange. But because we started out as friends, and we were goofy and giggly and silly together, and we got to know each other as people. Yeah. At the same time, we were getting to know each other as Kingsters, but the humanity was there. I don't view you as if you are some otherworldly, not really a man, because you're the domly dom, registered trademark person. Like, I respect your dominance. I respect the control that I consent to you having. I respect that, but I do not, I am also going to be the person who's like, yeah, but I know what you look like when you're going to the bathroom. So guess what? I have seen you at your most human moment. Okay? And I think that sometimes, and this is not, I would not say this is common. I would not even say this is always bad. But sometimes when we partner up with somebody because of their title or because of how they project themselves in that specific role that we're looking for, and we miss okay, but where's their humanity in here? Who are they as a human? Are they somebody that I want to hang out with? Like, if the power exchange can't happen today, do I want to be around them? No. That doesn't mean that every power exchange that you're always together all the time, even outside the power exchange. But, like, I kind of look at it as, would I want to have a conversation with this person? And would I want to admit that I know them? That's sort of like, even if they were not somebody that I was going to take home to, my mom or something and be like, let me introduce you around. It doesn't have to be that deep. It's just, do I want to even talk to you outside of this moment? Like, do I care about you as a human? Do I know you as a human? Have I seen you at, like, your quirkiest or your weirdest or even your lowest sometimes, depending on the nature of the relationship you're in? And that allows me this is one level of a million here. This is one reason out of a lot. That allows me to lovingly, with all due respect,
oh boy,
when necessary, which is really rare, call you on your bullshit. Because I'm not intimidated by the D. The dick or the dominance, whichever D you mean.
You know what?
But, and I think that comes from us getting to know each other as people first, and then building the power exchange on top of that.
And I have... something that always niggled me early on coming into the BDSM lifestyle, I was always concerned that, that's a lot of power to have over a person. How do you not let that corrupt you?
Oh, sure.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Mm-hmm. And that was something that always resonated with me. And I like that you call me on my bullshit.
Maybe not in the moment.
Well, maybe not at the moment. But you're doing that keeps me grounded. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because when you have the type of power that you have over a person, it is way too easy to let that get to you.
Oh, absolutely. And some people absolutely do. We've certainly seen that.
But you calling me on it keeps me grounded.
And for me, the comfort level I had is because long before, it was one of those things where I got to know you as a human being. Mm-hmm. I liked you. We laughed together. We giggled together. We had little moments together that had nothing to do with power exchange. And then I made both of us together, made the very conscientious decision together to step into the power exchange. Right. It was not, while I knew when you and I met and I thought that you and I would just be friends, and I knew that whoever I sought after, whatever relationship I wanted to be in next would be with a dominant person. At the time, I was very much a dominant man. If I was doing it today, I don't know. Dominant is the only thing I'm sure of anymore. It's the only thing I'm sure of. I knew that part, but I didn't have to do it that way. I didn't have to go out there and go, I am ready for the universe to send me a person who is dominant. Like, I didn't have to do that. But we still did have to make the conscious decision. Yes. And I came to you and said, hey, could you help me here? With this, like, our first touch of DS was one thing. It was me getting healthy, weight loss, blah, blah, blah. Yes. We have since learned that we cannot do weight loss and health in our power exchange because we enable each other so fucking bad. But at the time I was like, okay, I want to do these things and I know I need somebody to hold me accountable. Mm-hmm. I trust you. We are friends. This is not romantic. This is not sexual. I'm not even getting off. I just need some help. Yeah. And I can only come to you for that because you were my friend. And we had a rapport where I wasn't sure you were going to say yes. I was actually kind of scared he was going to say no. But I felt a comfort level because we had already talked about all kinds of other things. So here, I'll ask. And if you had said no, it wouldn't have killed our friendship. I wouldn't have, it would have been like okay, because that is kind of the nature of friendships. You can ask for stuff, but you kind of go, ooh, okay, if they can't give it to you. And yet, so I always appreciated, I always thought it was strange knowing who I am in relationships, that I came to you first.
Yeah.
But I think that you even said at one point, because we've talked about our origin story multiple times now, that you would have let me. You would not have approached something like that with me. You were waiting for me to make a move. Now, here's the other thing that is a kinky rom-com kind of situation. He was into me. He was totally into me.
Yeah.
I was over there in denial. And so but see, that's like, you treasured our friendship though. Like, you could have pressured me and been all like, hey, and you didn't do that.
No, I didn't, because I knew if I did,
I'd have bolted
you'd have run for the hills, never be seen again.
Or it would have taken another 6 months, because you would have had to do like a feral cat and like put out some tuna.
Yeah.
And then walk away. And like every week or so you could get like a little bit closer with the tuna. Yeah. That is what would have had to happen to get me back if you had made your intentions known too early. But that was a very specific situation of heartbreak and socially awkward human being over here. But yeah, so I could not have come to you and said, hey, can we try this, if that level of friendship had not been there.
Right.
Because it gave me a comfort level. For me, I had to know that even if you said no, you saying no would not have been a rejection of me and our friendship. It just would have been I'm not doing this. Yeah. And I was okay with that. I understood that. And yet, if we had not done that, we probably wouldn't be here.
Part of the part of that, the way I see it, through our friendship built the trust that allowed you to
And then once we got the taste of, oh wait, power exchange together, it was a little bit of a snowball.
Yeah,
from there,
it was.
Because it just sort of grew and grew and grew, even as I was in denial about my feelings. I mean, I think I was still in denial about my feelings when we were having phone sex. Like, we were having regular phone sex, and I was still like, nope, this is temporary. This isn't real. And what's weird is I never had I'm going to leave you. I was waiting for you to figure out that I was a hot fucking mess and get the hell away. I just waited and waited and waited. I waited for rejection.
You're still a hot freaking mess, and I'm still here.
I know. What is wrong with you? We know what's wrong with me. I've been diagnosed.
Well, I was going to say that not a damn thing. And that was through a certified medical...
The therapist said, you're fine. You're fine. That must be nice.
One session with me, he's like, I don't need to see you anymore.
What's it like to be mentally healthy? Like, I just don't understand. So I think that's the thing. You don't know where friendship's going to take you. You don't know what the end result's going to be. The end result could be that you're just friends forever, and you have somebody that you trust and you can talk to, and you can bounce ideas off of, and you can go, hey, I'm interested in that person over there. Can I get your take on? Like, you don't know where friendship's going to take you, but also it could be the thing you need to feel comfortable with somebody enough to go, hey, I really want to try this. Would you like to try this with me? And truly, if I hadn't come to him and like, I am a hot mess, but I really want to eat more healthfully, can you help me? We might not have gotten to this point, because quite frankly, you were the most patient human being on the fucking planet, except in the house buying process. I can't wait to tell you about that. And I really think if I had not come to you, you'd still be waiting on my ass to go, hey, could you dominate me a little bit?
Impatient wolf.
Oh, fucking hell. I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, but I think you would have. I don't know how long you would have waited.
I don't know.
I don't think anybody waits forever, but maybe they do. Unrequited love. I mean, there's a little bit of a tragedy in unrequited love. There's also my cynical, like, Scorpio bitch side just rolls her eyes and is like, go find somebody who's into you. God damn it. Because I'm a romantic.
Here's the thing that I was waiting for.
Such a bitch.
In many of my past, I decline to really use the word relationships, but relationship interests. Mm-hmm. I have always viewed myself as the catalyst for the other person meeting their...
Oh, yeah.
You know? So I was just waiting for that to happen.
Well, I'm really glad you tried to bring me down to earth about how another dominant probably would not like my best friend being a dominant, because that's what put the fight in me. I was like, this is my friend. Well, this is one of my best friends. Fuck that shit.
You know, I mean, it's funny. I think about that now, and I realize that at that time I was seeing that through very myopic.
Oh, sure. Because we've both learned and grown since then.
I mean, you know, several things at that time. One, I was viewing things through primarily high protocol.
Yes.
Which is what I was most familiar with and had been mostly exposed to in the community.
Right. And a very monogamous lens.
Yes. And yeah, having no clue or any understanding at all of poly.
And like, I think what you said was really the key there. You only knew, I mean, you knew a lot about BDSM at that point and kink, but your view was very much of the community you knew.
Yes.
And if that was sort of the accepted norm in the community, coming online, for all the problems there are of kink online, and there are problems, the fact that you can expand your viewpoint of what it means to be kinky, what it means to interact as a kinky person. I mean, good Lord, I think I have a healthy mix of dom and sub and people that I would consider maybe not my best closest friends, but my friend group in the kink world. And it would never occur to you to stop me from being friends with a dominant person. Right. And we've had conversations about if I ever stop being poly in theory. We know I gotta be topped. I gotta be topped. Yeah. So it's like you went, yeah, okay, that's what you're gonna need. Fine. Like, but it was coming out of the one very narrow view that you had, and I didn't know anything at that point. So you know, I took it as gospel, and then we came online and we're like,
and I have no problem with that. I mean, you know, if you were
we've
to
had
meet
those conversations.
Yeah, we've had the conversation. Even the first year you went to London. I was like, you know, if something comes up,
I know.
Have fun.
Can I tell you, every time both of us go away without the other, which is really rare. Okay, the one staying behind goes, have a good time. Whatever comes up. My only rule, and we've talked about this before, my only rule is just I need to know. I don't want to find out like as an afterthought. Sure. Like I gotta know what's going on. It's a comfort thing. But in general, yeah, you sent me off to London and been like, hey, if the opportunity arises, have a good time. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. You know. But I'm also socially awkward. The opportunity never arises. Quite frankly, the only way an opportunity would occur is my daddy would have to like plan it out, have a conversation, tell me about it 6 months in advance. We'd have to have a weekly meeting for the next 3 or 4 months. Like, I'm a hot mess and I know it. I know it. So there's a lot to be said about starting out as friends first in your DS relationship, looking to make friends, why it might be a good idea, why it might not be, why you don't need that. And I think that ultimately what matters is healthy power exchanges that build you up, don't tear you down. Right. Like, I know there's like a kinky element to being torn down, but like in that negative, unhealthy, not good for you kind of way torn down. And however that comes about, as long as everybody's consenting and you're communicating and, you know, it's fine. I know that my preference is I want to be able to laugh and joke and be silly and trust on a human level the person I'm engaging with. Does that mean I'm incapable of casual hookups, one night stands, you know, one-off play? No, but the couple of people that have been allowed into our play, I hung out with them before. I had a rapport with them. I thought they were okay human beings that I would call, maybe not my best friend, maybe not my closest friend. They're not the one I'm calling in a crisis, but I would sit next to them at the lunch and hang out with them and shoot the shit, and that level of friendship. So, and that's how I was able to be like, yeah, they can come into this scene and we can have a good time. So I think the thing is about friendship is for many of us, if not all of us, but definitely many of us, it's a patience thing. I hate that word too, y'all, okay? I've been using it a lot lately. I don't like that fucking word. Yeah. But that's what it is. It's a patience thing. It's a give it time. It's a don't rush something just because you have this timetable in your head of when something is supposed to happen. Most of the things that went wrong in my life on some level was because I was trying to rush it to make it happen when it wasn't ready to happen, right? And I think if everybody takes a deep breath and just goes, you know what, we'll just lower our expectations, not of other people, but our expectations of what we think is the outcome is going to be, and get to know people and see if we just like them as a human being. I don't think that is a controversial opinion to say, you know what, I think you should respect the other person as a human being first. And then if you are into it, go that step further and actually like them as a human being. And want and enjoy being in their company on some level. I think that ultimately, even if a relationship doesn't last, I think while the relationship exists, it makes it a better relationship. That would be my opinion. That's what I got to say about that. We got a bonus section because we got so much shit to talk about.
Yes. All right. So that being said, we good, baby girl?
As good as we'll probably ever be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
I don't know.
Keep it kinky, y'all.
And we'll see you next week. Daddy.
Yes, baby girl.
Can I talk to the crickets, please?
You have been waiting to talk to the crickets.
I have been waiting. I was having a really low week last week, and I was really sad that one of the things we had to sacrifice was being able to talk to the crickets.
I know. So, yes, you may talk to the crickets without further ado.
Okay. Let's see.
I do need to stretch my legs a second.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking at the live stream chat, y'all. Ignacia is sharing, like, she's dropping some wisdom here. I hope we get to go to, both get to go to the conference this weekend. Yes. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this bonus section, but you are here for the bonus section. What is our emoji of the week going to be? You know what I want it to be? And if we've already used it, I don't care. These are going to repeat anyway. I just want it to be a purple heart. Purple heart is like the one I always use. If you are ever trying to figure out who from the Loving BDSM account is talking to me, if there's a purple heart, y'all, it's me. If I forget to sign. Because I want us to spread a little bit of love this week. I legit missed y'all last week. If you were watching or listening later, there was a week we skipped. Time is funny that way. And there were a lot of things that went down why we needed to skip. We did get to talk to Proud Crickets on Patreon through our live Q&A, and that was amazing. And that was like the balm to my soul. Yeah.
And even that wasn't all that great.
Because we had tech issues.
Yeah.
But like, y'all are a space and a community I just really desperately wanted to be in last week, and we couldn't because life got wild. So we'll do a rundown. We'll try not to go too deep into it. So real quick, we are going to mention illness and death, but we're not going to go into details. But if you need to skip, just skip.
Real quick, last week sucked, and Reader's Digest version.
You got a call from a frantic sibling, thought your dad had a stroke.
Yes.
He did not. We don't know what happened, but he did not have a stroke.
Right.
So you basically drove, only a couple hours, thankfully, but drove down there to check him at the hospital and ended up coming back that night. We thought he would stay the night. So that was a long day.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was forgetting how dates work and had missed our own lunch. And I was sitting at the restaurant table with my aunt and uncle. Found out that my great aunt had died that day. My mother apparently forgot to call me and tell me. So I'm like bebopping along. I was not close to her. She was my grandmother's younger sister. But my memories of her are tied very closely to my grandmother. And I do have very strong, clear memories of this particular great aunt. And it's sad. And her husband, who had been her caretaker for many years through dementia and cancer and all kinds of stuff, he's now sort of lost and alone and doesn't quite, it's sort of obvious he doesn't quite know what to do. So then there were plans of, is Kayla going to go to this funeral? And it was in South Carolina, this funeral for this great aunt who's died. No, I have to stay at home because I don't know what's going on with JB's dad, who maybe he had a stroke. Like it was a lot. Yeah. And then something else was going on at the same time that was related. I have a family member who is supposed to be having a biopsy, I think this week, which to check for, I can't remember which cancer. I think it's prostate cancer.
Yes.
I think it's prostate cancer.
Yeah.
Which we have cancer is an issue in my family in general, and we have recent not great memories about it on your side of the family. It's like a lot. Then at the same time, I'm not going into any details because this isn't the place and I'm not doing it, but at the same time there was drama in my little sex blogging world, and I was like, what the fuck has happened around here? And I just
Mercury in retrograde.
I just wanted to be with y'all so bad. And then, of course, there was client work, and we were dealing with our pre-approval on the mortgage, which that has been the whole house thing is an exercise in patience. And it was just a lot. And I looked at the schedule, and I was behind on work and had deadlines, and you might have been gone, and funeral, and there was, and my mom came to town for 3 days because they went to a funeral, and I was like, something has to give, and I can't tell my deadlines because I like money that they are the things that have to give. And so even though it was genuinely painful to do, I was like, we can't live stream. There's no way we can do this. So that is why we were not here last week. We are fine. Your dad is he usually is up north. He was down here. That's the only reason you could go to the hospital. He is getting himself back up north, correct?
Yeah.
It's a whole mess.
It's a whole thing, and I was concerned about his health. At this point, we know it is not anything major. Not sure what happened. My theory is that because of other things that have happened in his life, it was an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
That's an medical educated guess on my part, but that's my thought on it at this point. So he's working on getting back to New York, and there are other family issues going on where I had to say, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yes, that's a good phrase to have in your arsenal, by the way.
Yeah. So, I had kind of been moving through that. That's done. Well, not done, but, trying to move past that now. That took a rather emotional toll on me for a while there.
Yeah, last week I just felt like the inside of my head was buzzing all week. Like nothing made sense, and I was on edge, and you were on edge, and nobody slept. So that all happened. And now let's move to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because we got good stuff. It was like last week was like this blip in life that where you go, what the fuck happened here? Because this week dawned as a much better week. So last week, in the middle of all that wildness, we did go view some homes.
Right.
And I was really upset because the first house we looked at, the inside was perfect. It was perfect.
The kitchen was amazing.
It was beautiful. The last house of that particular day, the seller or their realtor, I don't know which, and that's no shade to realtors because actually I've done whatever. They priced the house like it was a beautiful, amazing house, and we walked in and there were no floors. I mean, it was concrete, y'all.
Bare concrete.
Full price. They wanted like a real price. I'm like, no. There's $10,000 worth of work to do in this house. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I was mad. I was insulted. So we were in the middle of the stress. So we were a little bit like, This week, Monday, we went and saw a couple of houses. And we put in an offer on one.
Yeah.
And it was countered, and we accepted the counter offer. And we're now barreling towards being homeowners again.
Yes.
Oh my God, y'all. Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's so good. I know I sound like I'm dying. I'm not. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
It is.
It's what we needed after last week. It's like, there's light again.
So things are moving forward in that aspect for us.
The office is gonna be amazing.
The house has a large Florida room.
Massive. It's like two rooms, really.
Almost two rooms together. It is already got AC ducts in there.
Yep.
So
we might even get to use natural lighting sometimes.
Yeah. It is going to be the perfect place for our office and also for doing our recording.
We're going to have like a little
streams.
section that's nothing but recording, y'all. Like it's just going to be there, and we're just going to go sit when it's time to record something.
So my days of being gaffer, several hours beforehand will be limited because we will have enough space that we can keep most of, if not everything, set up and ready to record at a moment's notice, which I will just love.
Oh my gosh. So, and house is a split floor plan if you're not aware of what that is, and that's cool if you don't. It's fine. master bedroom on one side, all the other bedrooms on the other side, and like living room, dining room, kitchen in the middle.
Yeah.
It is that. And we didn't test it. It was kind of empty anyway, so you can't really test it. But it sounded to me like the acoustics were good. We can kinky fuckery ourselves to our heart's content.
Yes.
Without a child going, what's going on in there? Or, I can hear you. I know you're talking about me, and I can hear you.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now, Silent Wing asked about the workshop.
I know.
Now, we've had to make a couple concessions with this. Originally, everybody has dreams. You dream things.
We dreamt big.
We dreamt big, and my dream was to go in and as soon as we close, start putting up a workshop.
Yeah, literally before you even moved in, we were going to organize getting a workshop.
Right. That is not going to happen immediately. No. On the plus side, the house does have a 2-car garage.
Yeah.
What will be nice is there is already a existing
storage
shed in the backyard. So most of the storage stuff from the garage, yard stuff, all that kind of stuff can be put in the
little storage
shed.
You'll have more space in the garage.
And I will have more space in the garage.
And we have, we think it might not be as aggressive as we want it to be, but we have a plan to save for the workshop. So 6 months to a year max. Mm-hmm. Be sliding that bad boy in.
Yeah.
Paid for, don't have to worry about it. And
Now, I know there is some electric in the garage at this point. Short term, I may have to have an outlet or two added in. Should be able to, have somebody do that relatively easily because the breaker box is right there in the garage.
Yeah.
So it would be easy enough for someone to come in and add a circuit. So, yes, which is kind of nice in one sense because I will be able to just kind of pick up and move.
And you'll be able to do that on your own time.
Exactly.
Right now, so we have the home inspection next week.
Yes.
Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Hopefully nothing wild is found there. That's the unknown at this point. Mm-hmm. So that's the next hurdle to get through.
Right.
There are things on the inside that we will have done before we move in just because it'll be easier with an empty house, like changing out the carpets in the bedrooms and repainting the walls. And Now,
I will say it is funny because one of the things we talked about prior to house hunting is that wallpaper is a hard limit.
It is. But clearly we are gluttons for punishment.
Yeah. There is some wallpaper in the house, but we have both agreed we are going to see about having it professionally removed.
We had hoped to have the house painted.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to have more money after our closing costs than we really are, and we have clearly dreamt big is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But minimum we'll have the wallpaper taken off professionally because last time we did it, there was a lot of cussing. There were gouges in the wall. We were unhappy people. To at least get somebody else to take it off and know how to patch up a wall if necessary, I would pay for. I don't mind painting a wall myself. That's fine. But we did a search for painters in the area so we can kind of see who's out there. And we found the best company name ever. I have questions, but it's inappropriate to ask those questions. The name of this company is 50 Shades of Color. I'm like, do you just have a good sense of humor or...
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Are we? I need to know. Why not? We may never even call them. They might not be the right. But the company name giving me life.
Yeah, right.
Love that.
Yep.
For the company name alone, I'd be tempted to hire them. But yeah, so last week, shit. This week, the sun is shining again. Good things. Still hectic. Neither of us is sleeping well.
No.
Neither of us. We are both on edge. I was told in no uncertain terms to stop all that fucking teasing.
That's right.
You know what's...
See, I think here's what's happening. Me, under stress, I tend to get a little testy.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. You, under stress, get sassy.
Depends on the stress. On the stress. Last week, there was no sass. Last week was no. But this week, no. Because it's a different kind of stress.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I've got to joke my way through this.
Right.
Like, I need to crack a joke. I need to be sarcastic. I need to cut the tension. And you were like, no, I'm just here to live with my fucking tension. Stop teasing me. Fine, I just won't tease you. I'll just say it all in my head where you can't see. So, yeah. So yeah, there's going to be an office, and we talked about this last year. We're like, oh well, maybe when we buy a house, we'll do a house tour, and got good advice of don't do that, privacy issues. But there will be an office tour when the day comes. I'm already like we have to paint that room. It's a bright ass fucking yellow. That's too fucking cheery and chipper for me. I need a different color. Somebody asked in the live stream, trying to paint it purple. Probably not. But I'm thinking I'd love to create a backdrop for our videos that's purple, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm already mapping out, okay, what do we need? What do we already have? How are we going to move this stuff around? The fact that we're going to have a living room that gets to be a living room and not also an office. I mean, from living in the condo to living in this rental, and when we lived in the apartment before that, the living room was always also the office because there's always a desk in there, and now we're gonna have a space. And
Silent Wings said, is it stress or anticipation? I think there is a good portion of anticipation there.
Yes,
because going from the condo to here, we knew it was just a temporary situation, and we have made do with a lot of things. And I think now that knowing, very shortly there could be an end in sight, and it's like we can finally move forward with things.
This has been thinking about, planning for, executing all of this major goal of moving to this city, owning a house, has been 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
And it's kind of strange that we're getting closer to the end point of that. And so there's a part of me that's a little bit like, okay, come on, let's get there. And then there's also a part of me that's kind of zen about it. Like, okay, we're this close. We just have to let it progress and it'll be fine. But every once in a while when I take a breath, I'm like, what's going to consume us when this is done? What will we focus on when this is done? I can't imagine. I don't know. So yeah, it's such a relief to be in this place where we're at right now. We did a lot of debating, and is this really the house? And we feel really good about it, so we're gonna go with it. So so that's happening. And then, or do you have more you want to say about the house?
Just one of the things, like Kayla mentioned earlier, we had some technical problems over the weekend with the Patreon Q&A, and one of the things we want to look into when we get into the house is to, we have kids, they have devices, they have lots of devices. And one of the things we want to look into is having a dedicated web line, internet connection, strictly for us for work.
Yeah, so when we're live streaming or we're doing whatever, we're not competing with the Xbox and the laptop and the phones. And
exactly. So that's something that we are looking into. Will be looking into.
Right. So and there's a very good chance that either live streams or both live streams and podcasts, I don't know, might have to take a break for a couple of weeks. Once, because they gave us a lot of time for closing, which is good, but we might not need it unless there's a problem, because we've already done all of our stuff with the bank. The mortgage guy's like, wow, you gave us all your stuff already. I'm like, yeah, because I want to fucking buy a house. And every time the realtor calls with something, we're on it.
Yep.
We don't delay. paid the title company the escrow thing today. I was like, oh, okay, here, take my money. It's fine. This is fine. So we're like trying to be on top of stuff, so it might move faster. But then there's the time period of getting the house ready, and then there's the move-in. And so if we are sporadic, just know that's why. But we're trying to plan it out so we can like actually map it out. Yeah. Then on top of all of that, next weekend, March 20th through 22nd.
Yes.
One of us is definitely going to Atlanta, and one of us has to confirm with the childcare situation. And if that is confirmed, we'll definitely be going to Atlanta. One or both of us will be in Atlanta at a kink leadership conference next weekend. Yeah. LLC. So that is happening too. Yeah. Because, you know, who needs a quiet weekend at home when you can... Yeah.
I've been home for 2 weekends in a row.
Oh, we almost had an issue with that. He went, was it 3 weekends in a row?
Pretty much,
it was 3 weekends in a row. He was off jetting. I was home not. And it came to the 4th weekend, and he was like, well, actually, I got invited to. And I just looked at him. I didn't really say anything. You're the daddy dom. I'm the submissive. But I did look at him like, oh, for the 4th weekend, you're going to go, and I'll stay here? That sounds lovely. Because it wasn't something either I wanted to go to or that I could go to. It was a childcare thing. It wasn't like I was just ignoring all these opportunities to go out and be social. It was like I literally could not go. Yeah. And 4th, he stayed home.
Yeah, no, I was kind of road weary by that time anyway.
Yeah. I was like, hi, I like being with you. Will you come be with me? Yeah. in the most submissive way possible. Clearly.
It didn't take much arm twisting. I was kind of ready to be close to home by that point anyway myself.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. I think that's a lot. That's plenty.
It is.
One last pitch. If you have been on the fence about the Patreon thing, try not to make it like talk about too much and annoy everybody. But Saturday we are doing a makeup live Q&A.
Correct.
Middle of the day. Make all the children get off all their devices so the internet works. So patreon.com/killalords. But otherwise, I think for now, like I said, it might be a little sporadic over the next several weeks, but we're going to try and be consistent. So we're back until we're not. Yeah. And at some point we will need to take like a vacation.
Yeah.
Because Christmas was the last break we had. New Year's, end of the year.
Christmas, New Year's, yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably need a little bit of a break in the.
Well, we next just kind of to prepare y'all. Most likely when we move,
that'll probably be our break.
That'll be a little bit of a break for us because we need to take everything down here and.
But
get it moved over.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It will.
So we love you guys. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being Cricket. Purple heart is our emoji of the week. Because my heart, I missed y'all so much last week. It's not even funny. And we love you guys and thank you. And we will see you next week. Bye.